So today we're out with the Progression 200. It's a brand new wing to the lineup, just expanding on the Progression lineup. It's kind of like the big man Swiss Army knife wing. It's gonna surf for you, it's gonna pump for you. We're gonna do some dock starts today. I love it for downwind as well, especially when the conditions are kind of light and the bumps aren't that big. This wing kind of does it all. It's not the fastest wing. It's got a great low end stall speed, so you can really kind of dig yourself out of holes. And then also with the dock starting here, you'll see you don't need a whole lot of run up to get this wing moving. So we're gonna do this today. We'll compare it against the Hyper 250, 210, and then I'm gonna test at 200 pounds the Progression 170 as well. So we'll see how that goes. Today I'm also gonna be using the new carbon shiv. So if you're familiar with our G10 tail packs we had, everybody seemed to love them. You had three options, the shiv, shunt, and shank. Shiv being the neutral footed, you can see with the little graphic there, it's kind of even footed pressure. It's been my favorite, it's been kind of like overall favorite tail. We're now offering that same tail pack in full carbon. It's got this little red tint to it as well. You can see maybe hopefully in the light there. Just kind of going along with that red G10 we used, keep it in that same feel. Same wings, same design, same shape, everything carbon. So obviously stiffer, which is gonna give you a much better, more direct feel. And I'm loving it in the surf. I'm loving it for downwind as well. And then obviously pumping, it just gives you way more efficiency, like tighter, quicker reaction time when you're pushing your foil. Give those a check out too. So I'm just gonna kind of walk you through my, I guess, setup, how I do the dock start. I just use my same prone board. I know there's like pump boards out there, and if you're in a spot where you're not gonna be in the surf, I guess that makes sense. But you can really use any board. Like we've got guys that use their SUP downwind boards for dock starts too. So don't think you need a specific board for dock starting. Positioning the hands is pretty important up front. My backhand kind of back where my back foot's gonna go, and then same thing, front hand goes where my front foot's gonna go, which kind of makes it an easy transition for you, and it helps my eyes as like a point to focus on. I don't really have to see it, I just kind of feel it with my hands. I know where my foot's supposed to go from there. I kind of offset my stance. My back foot will be over here, my front foot will be up here. I know a lot of guys don't do that. This is just me. I'll put the foil in the water. I'm gonna try and keep it as close to the surface as I can, just to give me as much room, for the foil going down. Sometimes you have to kind of play around with the dock you're at. This dock here has a little bit of clearance underneath the lip. Your dock might not, so you have to like push the foil out further. Just watch out for grass or whatever kind of, cleats. Yeah, if you have cleats on your dock, be careful. This is a nice little runway here first, but over on this side, you can see, there's cleats. From there, kind of like a 1, 2, 3 jump, and I time it so that I'm jumping off my front foot. My back foot will land on first. As I'm releasing my front hand, my front foot goes on, and then from there it's just off to the pump races. So we'll give it a shot. So that was the Progression 200. Now we're gonna go to the Hyper 250. In my experience, a 250 is easier to pump, has about the same stall speed. It's just a bigger wing, so you can kind of go slower, but we'll see how it goes. All right, so that was the 250. I think it's pretty similar to the 200 in terms of the low end lift. It's definitely bigger. You can feel it making course adjustments. The bigger wing does not want to turn as well as the 200. The glide between pumps is probably pretty similar. The 250 might have a little edge there, but overall, I'd say the 200 and 250 are pretty similar in their abilities for pump and glide. I'm gonna now drop down to the Hyper 210, just kind of feeling out the difference between the two foils, different sizes, trying to find the low point for each wing. So just a quick little pit crew change out here. All right, so one thing with getting the fuses out, this year, we went to the 2-bolt fuse. We did that. Some people, kind of complain like, oh, my fuse wiggles when I put it in the wing. And that's by design. We wanted to get away from needing a mallet or a hammer to get the fuse in. It goes in pretty easily. Sometimes it can get stuck coming out. The easiest way that I've found to get them out, just put the front wing between your legs, keep the tail on, and then just kind of twist the tail and pull out, and it just comes right out. So far, I've managed to stay dry with the 200 and the 250, and now I'm gonna test the 210. I am nervous to say that I feel confident, but we'll see how it goes. I think I technically did it, but I think I hit a little piece of seaweed or something.
It's always the seaweed's fault.
Always. It's never my fault. The 210 definitely has less lift than the Progression 200. I'm feeling that right away. That first push on the 200, you feel it push back. The Hyper 210, even though it's a bigger wing, that first push, I can feel it like almost pushing through. Probably that I'm not running fast enough. I don't do the like crazy fast dock start run. Just a note. Also, I'm 200 pounds, so take that into account. There's the push through. Now we went from the Hyper 210. Now I'm gonna test myself on the Progression 170. I feel like this will be a good data point. Progression 170 is as easy or easier than the 210. That'll be good to know for that like low end lift, stall speed area. The 210, once I got up to speed was great. That initial pump, the initial like jump and push, you've got to be right on it at my weight because I felt like I was gonna push through my first couple tries. Got the timing down, got up and running, was able to go and glide. But even then, when I was coming in, I was trying to take some time to just glide. And when I would go to push back after gliding, I could feel the foil pushing through the water. So we're gonna test it to see how the 170 does. I'm less confident on this one. 170. Wish me luck. Oh yeah, it worked. That was easier than the 210. Had better glide, like better low end glide. That was awesome. Now I want to try the 140. No, I don't. Okay, so we just ran through some dock starts with the Hyper 250 and 210, and then the Progression 200 and 170. Obviously, the Hyper 250 was the easiest of all of the wings to dock start. I could run the slowest, I could pump the slowest and easiest, take the most time between pumps, gliding. Progression 200, close second. Really similar wings, except just from experience, I know the Progression 200 surfs so much better. It rolls over pretty easily. For its size, it turns great. Still got plenty of low end lift, fast enough to run with bumps for downwinding. That's what I use it for, is for downwinding. So great wing. The Hyper 210 works harder than the Progression 200. Even though it's a little bit bigger, I would say it was more difficult. You need to be more precise. You have less leeway in terms of timing and missing your hand placement, missing your foot placement. That first pump, you gotta be right on it. You gotta be in a good spot with good timing. And surprisingly, the Progression 170 worked pretty well for me for the dock starts as well. Good low end lift, nice low stall speed, good glide. And then obviously once you get it out in the water, it's faster through the water. So that was fun too. So yeah, I'd say the rankings would be 250, 200, 170, and then 210 coming in last place. But yeah, it's a fun little afternoon.